Hello and welcome back to Rage Gaming and more Code Vein for launch day. Today we're talking about how you want to farm all the important stuff in the opening section or first few hours of the game to make yourself strong as hell and just have basically the strongest opening possible. So to level up we're going to need Haze, and there's lots of ways you could farm Haze. You begin the game leaving the cliff top cavern, and this is your first quote unquote open world part. The very first efficient Haze farm is down to the southwest at the pier, right here on the beach. As you can see, there's this guy patrolling around with a big hammer, but he's worth like 500 Haze. So what you can do is spawn there, run up, kill him, run back to the missile and use it, which then respawns him, and you run up and kill him again. The more efficient and effective you are about this, the faster and bigger amount of Haze you'll have in the short time. And so that's what I think makes for a good Haze farm. A single target that's right next to a missile that you can kill as quick as possible. Now what's interesting is if you come here in the present rather than the past, that hammer elite is not going to be here. It's going to be a new, much stronger enemy instead. So just fair warning that you want to farm that in the past, which is where you'll be starting in the tutorial. But by comparison, this much stronger enemy is worth over 3,000 Haze, so it's a great target and another great farm we'll come back to later when we're strong enough. But now let's jump over to Haze Method 2, which you'll find here in the Sunken City. This is your second region. Once you complete the tutorial, you come over here. You want to come over here though on the northern side to the hill overlooking Clock Tower. Here's you spawn in. On our left we have this beautiful bridge and this succubus spawns here. As you can see, it spawns here in the present, but it also spawns here in the past, and the enemy beyond that, that's the one that changes. But again, that's going to be a lot stronger in the present, which is a lot more dangerous to try to farm. Anyway, I like killing this succubus because it's providing me just shy 1,200 a kill, which is a lot more than that first elite target. It is also, again, right next to a missile, so you can dump all your resources to try to one-shot it, or as close as possible, the quickest kill that you can. And you'll want to farm this for a different reason, as we'll talk about in a moment. But yes, this has definitely been like the Sunken City early hyper farm option. After that, again, I'd recommend coming back to the pier, but this time coming to present to fight that much stronger enemy, which again for over 3,000 a kill is worth a lot more and a great farm when you are strong enough. You just progress these 3 steps based on how strong you are, how confident you are, that's up to you. But now some really important mechanics that I want to talk about for farming and upgrading. It's to do with your boosters. These 4 slots that give you really impactful passives. Not just like literal +2 strength, but unique mechanics like more ichor when you drain attack. Unlocking them can be done in a few ways, but the first time that you come to the present version of Magmel, this NPC will appear, Lavinia. By selecting the catch up option with this NPC, you'll get her code, and she'll tell you to come speak with her whenever you max proficiency on a code. So every time you unlock a new code, you're going to be using it, and as you kill enemies while it's equipped, the proficiency bar will fill until it gets this red star and it's full. At which point you can rest a missile and the NPC associated with it will be like, hey, great job mastering my code, here's a stronger version of the same code. But when you come back to this hub and speak with the large lady here, she rewards you for actually maxing a code out by providing you with the booster tied to it. So for example, Jose's code, this is what unlocks the strength booster. Meanwhile, Noah's code, this is the one that unlocks the dexterity booster. If you ever want to learn more about these things, you can just pull up any menu where it's on screen, press R2 on a controller for extra information, and then get that. So when we look at strength, we see that it raises the attack power of weapon attacks, which is really important, but it's particularly useful for heavy weapons, great swords, hammers, halberds. Meanwhile, dexterity again affects power of weapon attacks, but has a large effect on lightweight, so your one-handed sword, the twin blades, that kind of thing. But now let's talk about booster extraction. That's where I got the +5 dexterity version of that booster, but also those other unique and effective ones. You need to come to Jadwiga in the hub here, or go to one of our many minion merchants around the world, and just choose extract booster. Here we get the list of all the different extracts we can generate, such as also the strength version of +5, not just the dexterity one. There are loads here that have a lot of unique effects, a lot of them not too useful, but you will have a few that are really good to get. In my opinion, you should be looking at this one, +5 strength, this one, +5 dexterity, this one, the max LP boost, which is going to give you more of a blue bar to benefit from the buffs longer, take longer to die. It's a great survivability option. And then in my opinion, something that fuels your ichor better. That could be the ichor absorber or something sustained related like victory LP. giving us that blue bar as we kill enemies. Now keep in mind, as you can see, all of these require 4,000 haze to actually craft, which is pretty expensive, but when you're farming these parts, trust me, you'll get it. The question is, where do you find these? For example, the strength one. It requires werebeast parts. One rare lucky drop, the spinal cord, and then the others are common drop. The best place I've found to farm werebeast is actually on the starting island, but in the present. And you want to come over to the east side here, and there's a kind of underground ruins entrance. Go down there and activate the missile, and this is going to be your checkpoint. So you come out of the ruins now and go up top to the center, where you're going to find the first werebeast here, and then you're going to go more east towards the actual Pathos symbol, where the second one will be. With those two dead, you can fast travel back to the ruins missile and do it again. Because these are on the starting island, they're also really weak, which makes them easy to kill, and so you can farm those werebeast parts pretty damn quick. Next we have the dexterity booster as my other great option. For this you're going to need decayed revenant parts. These are all quite common drops, thankfully. Decayed revenants are all over the world. They're actually quite a weak common enemy, but finding a good farm spot is a bit different. Fortunately, I found a fantastic one. At the Eastern Gatehouse Ruins, right next to this along the bridge, is 3 of these decayed revenants. Really weak ones as well, by the way. So you run up, kill them, get the drops, go back to the missile, run it again. This is even quicker than the werebeast and is probably the first one to do. And again, +5 dexterity is super good. Next we have the max LP boost for more sustain. Super good one to get, and easy because it comes from succubus parts. And as we talked about in the Haze farm section, there's a great one for that. So you come over to the hill overlooking Clock Tower, you run to the succubus on the bridge, one-shot it as fast as you can, and reset. Next we have the Ichor Absorber. I think this is a really good one if you are using self buffs, which to be honest you should be, or dumping your Ichor into weapon attacks, which is also a great way to deal damage. This requires the large, medium, and small versions of Gula fragments, and also their ashes. The large one's the rarest one, but I've got it quite a lot, as you can see. There's actually quite a few places where you can farm this. This is because they're a common enemy, and you can do it in the present and past as well. It's up to you, but yeah. Over here at the Siege substation on the west side, there's this like city area on a balcony. Here there's also a golden nectar, but in the area before that, you have like 2 or 3 enemies you can kill in the open area and along this alleyway where one's patrolling with dogs. Then you just run back to the missile and reset. I don't like how far away from the missile this one is, but it is where I farmed it. An alternative that could work is up here at the plateau overlooking city. The problem with this is you need to come to the cliffside ruins, path through the cliffside ruins and kill the boss here, and then you get access to this upper level. But there are a bunch of different kinds of enemies here that are worth it, such as another one we're going to quickly mention. So, the deformed ape parts for the Victory LP. This is if you're exploring the world and killing enemies and you just want to have long sustain. There are a few locations for these apes, like the earliest one that you find is on the way into the city from the starting island. There's also one over here in the water, just west of the West Gate. But another great option is up here at the plateau overlooking city, inside this like temple room where the Pathos is. One of the guys turns into an ape, so you can kill him, all the enemies around him, and it actually doubles up as a great haze farm. So there's some options for you. Next, we got to talk about upgrading your gear, your weapon, your formae, your jail. For the weapon, there are 2 options. There are light stones, much like somber smithing stones in Elden Ring, for special weapons only. Most weapons use crimson stones, and you need them at different levels. Level 1, 2, and 3 are the ones you'll find first. The highest level you can get should be +6 before you're going to need to then progress to the next main section, beyond the Sunken City, where you'll get your 4th level crimson stone. To be honest with you, you drown in these. I don't think this guide section needs to be that in depth, but to just give you the tools, you'll literally find one here in the warehouse on the shelf here. On the starting island by the pier, come up the beach and you'll find one up here as well. There's also 2 on the metal walkway in the southern ruins on the tutorial, which is already more than enough. Then the +2 and +3s come from the main story. So you're forced over to Jose's outpost and you have to clear it. And throughout this area, you'll be getting +2 crimson stones. Then you're going to be sent over to the power or Siege substation where you're going to find a bunch more of them. The next section will be over here, the sunken pylon, and this underwater sunken plan. Here you're going to get +3 stones, and they give you more than you need. My tip is whenever you're exploring the world, just keep a good lookout for any time you see any purple glow. Purple glowing items are always these upgrade materials that you don't want to miss. Always worth grabbing. However, separate from your crimson stones are the occasional special weapon that can only be upgraded in much smaller numbers and with a different resource. That resource is the light stones. much like the somber smithing stones of Elden Ring. The first ones you get are actually in Jose's outpost for +1 and +2. As you approach the front gate, you'll follow it around to the left where you come to an elevator. Before you go up that elevator, there is the purple item there, which is the first light stone. The next upgrade's also here, just on the upper level. So you go up the elevator and you progress around the top level. Eventually you come across this metal bridge which you cross, and now you're going to go to the other side and drop down to the missile on the west side. But before you do that, you look to your left here and there's a shipping container that's fallen over, and inside of that purple item, the next level of these stones. And with that, yeah, that's it. You have +1 and +2 for the special weapon. The next ones should be found in the next region. On the other hand, you have your enhancement of Jail. This is really important because the highest level jail you have in your inventory gives that power also to your partner of choosing. Their attack power is literally higher, the higher level your jail is. So you want to make sure one jail is high level as possible, no matter what. This requires a different resource, platinum, and it works the same with the Crimson Stones. You can get the first ones in the hub here. You just come into the room behind and there's one on this sort of like pile of boxes. There's also one by the beach with the pier, same thing. But instead you go southeast to the cave and there's one in the cave entrance. You'll also find more in the southern ruins and also the water treatment plant. More than you'll need. Same thing as well when you come to Jose's outpost, you go to the sea substation and so on. In the main areas, they just give you enough. You'll find them. And these locations are also where you're going to get the enhanced formae resource, the heart remnants. These come in different levels as well, just making your bequeathed weapons stronger. So if there's one that you're particularly enjoying, then you may as well upgrade it. But there are quite a few of these. You may want to wait until you get the one that you really care about. Next, a very quick word on enhanced regeneration. Super simple stuff. You can increase the amount of healing you get per heal or the amount of heals you have. Different resources. That's the golden blood bead for the raw healing, and then the amount of healing is golden nectar. You can get all of these super easy. On the starting island, there's a bunch. There's one right here on the main path. There's one just outside of the southern ruins. There's one on the beach on the northern side here. And there's even one on the east side, actually inside of the East Bay underground ruins. To find these, there's a very simple trick. You go to one of these pink locations, reveal the zone by destroying the jammer, and then you just look at the map. On the map will be these blue dots. That is where these are. You know where they are because they're marked for you. You just run, pick them up. It's that easy. On the other hand, the beads to increase your healing must be found at towers of regeneration, as marked by this symbol. In fact, there's one that I'm not yet gone to. So this one here is no doubt a tower of regeneration because it's that shape. And that's how we find them. You reveal the map, you see where that shape is, you go to it. For example, this one's a bit awkward on the east side. You need to come from the checkpoint ruins and run along the water here. It feels like you're going out of bounds, but yeah, you reach it. So there's at least 3 potential here in the Sunken City, and there's one on the starting island. Once you reach the present, you'll be able to come over here and just grab it. I also want to mention Pathos Buffs. On the starting island, you can see that while I'm here, I have increased healing and max LP and Icor boost. That is because I've activated 2 Pathos in this region. All you have to do is run over to them and interact with them, and they're even marked on your map before you even find them. For example, we can see that there's one somewhere here, underground, above ground maybe. These buffs only work in this region, so let me just teleport to a different area and you'll see how they change. So now we're over in a different region, and you see that I've got 4 now. More healing, max stamina mind boost, max Icor dexterity, max HP and willpower, a lot of boosts, because I've run over and grabbed all of the ones that are just in the open. But be wary, some of them are going to be in dungeons and underground. For example, this one here was actually inside of the underground facility, so hidden somewhere in that dungeon. At very least, go get the ones in the open world that are on your map, and then go do the dungeon ones as soon as possible. The sooner you do these, the more the buffs provide, making all the boss fights and progression easier. But yeah, that about covers it. Quite a lot to talk about there. I hope this gives you the tools to get everything you need and understand that. Like this if it did help you. But until next time, I've been Hollow, you've been you, and thanks for watching.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.